We've seen so many Kickstarter horror stories over the years. From the mess that was the mighty number 9 to whatever the hell happened with the Ouya. But this most recent bit of Kickstarter scandal might well take the gold medal.
In a hot bit of games industry news, fresh from respected games journalist Jason Schreier, it's emerged that the director of a game called Project Phoenix, Hiroaki Ura, has been accused of embezzling $1 million from the game's Kickstarter campaign. Project Phoenix is set to be a squad-based real-time strategy game developed by Creative Intelligence Arts. The Kickstarter campaign for the game first began back in 2013 and raised around $1 million. The game's development, however, has failed to meet deadlines, and in 2015, Ura delayed the game to 2018. In April of this year, Ura announced that he would be releasing a different game first in order to get some more investors on board with Project Phoenix. That different game was turn-based tactics game Tiny Metal, which made headlines several weeks ago for coming to Nintendo Switch, despite being published by Sony.
However, the marketing and PR manager for Tiny Metal, Tarek Lacey, has come out to accuse Project Phoenix director Hiroaki Ura of embezzling the money raised on the Project Phoenix Kickstarter to fund Tiny Metal. Tiny Metal, huge embezzlement.
Boy, if you don't get...
Lacey said, quote, 2 months after I was hired at Area 35, I had learned that the company funded this project by running a scam through Kickstarter. They gathered several famous creators and ran a campaign known as Project Phoenix, then used the $1 million received from the campaign to fund the Tiny Metal project. Lacey gives details about how the Kickstarter money was used to establish Area 35 and pay for the staff, equipment, and an office to make Tiny Metal. He then goes on to say how he was expected to lie about where the money for Tiny Metal was coming from, to which Lacey refused. All in all, Lacey claims that the Project Phoenix Kickstarter was, quote, merely an effective means to receive funding while removing any obligations to investors.
Jason Schreier then reached out to Ura for a comment which led to even more allegations, but this time in the other direction. According to Ura's counter-allegations, Lacey was a toxic employee who sexually harassed female members of staff.
He's hot on his buzzwords, isn't he there, Ura? He's like, toxicity, that's a buzzword.
What's been happening in the news?
Sexual harassment, yeah, that's
I'll
sexual
accuse him of that. Lacey then responded to these claims, claiming that Ura was just, quote, reacting to my statement with libel. Ura also spoke about where exactly the money went. The $1 million of Kickstarter money, he said, went to making the alpha build of Project Phoenix. Ura claims that he also invested money from other projects that he'd worked on, like I Am Setsuna. As for Tiny Metal, Ura had this to say, quote, Tiny Metal's initial investment came from a group of investors from Australia. This wasn't enough, however, to finish development, so the rest came through a deal with Sony Music Entertainment. So this is a weird story. I love the idea that Jason Schreier, being the respected games journalist that he is having to keep going backwards and forths through these two who are clearly having a public dispute, and Jason Schreier is just like the middleman, just taking these allegations, then going, okay, now we're going to go check this with the other guy again.
Tell her the truth.
Wait.
You nicked the money.
If you let me finish, I did not nick that money, yeah?
So there's some serious stuff being flying around. Sexual harassment is not a laughing matter. If that is real, that's a big deal. There's a lot of stuff that they're being accused of here in both directions, and it's a lot more of a mess than it seems. One guy getting accused of $1 million embezzlement is complicated all the more by the accusations that he's making to the guy that accused him of doing the embezzlement. So it's a bit of a mess.
It's very complicated. For my money, the way that I see it, I was looking for the most simplest answer, right? Given this situation, this Lacey guy, what are his motivations for accusing this guy for $1 million embezzlement? His public motivation obviously is to highlight the truth and just to expose this guy for being a treacherous bastard, as what he's accusing him of doing. That's a reasonable type of motivation. Now this Ura. So let's look at Hiroaki Ura's motivation for calling the other guy a sexual harasser and what was the other
toxic
one?
Employee.
Toxic employee. Why would he be saying that? What is his motivations? Maybe because he's also accused him of something else. It seems obvious that I said the point in the office the other day. I've forgotten it now. God.
It was a good one though.
It was a good point.
I'll get there. Let me just formulate it.
It'd be fun if we just left it there. I had a great point.
It just makes a lot more sense that this Lacey guy is actually telling the truth and this Ura guy is just reacting to being accused of something. Because that's what people do, and it's like, you're an asshole. Well, yeah, I your mother or whatever. I don't know why I said that. That was pretty... I went a bit. Don't know why I said that.
But that doesn't work because that's the guy saying you're an arsehole, and then that guy going, yeah, I am an arsehole. It does kind of highlight the problem with Kickstarter, though, doesn't it? If the guy's saying, oh, no, I did make an alpha build of it with $1 million, well, people didn't back you for an alpha build, they backed you for the whole game. So it's just to say that there's an alpha build that exists out there, you know, that kind of highlights exactly what is wrong with Kickstarter when people will donate you vast amounts of money. You don't quite know exactly how much you need, you don't know how much to ask for, maybe people won't give you enough, maybe people give you too much. It's a great system in many ways, but it is fundamentally flawed because it keeps throwing out stories like this.
So there you go, another horror story with regard to the gaming industry and Kickstarter. Let us know if you're still willing to take the risk of backing a game on Kickstarter down in the comments below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe. If you're new around here, there's another video to watch on your screen there. Support us on Patreon. If you're awesome, we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.